So we hear about it all the time, right? Industry 4.0, this future where supply chains are perfectly automated, seamless, and efficient. But what if the real secret to unlocking that future isn't just about code and robots? What if it's about something, well, a lot more human? Today, we're going to dig into why people are still, and will continue to be, the most important part of the whole system.
All right, to get us started, I've got a question for you that you're probably not expecting. What in the world does Valentine's Day have to do with supply chains? I know, it sounds a little crazy. Love and logistics. Doesn't seem like they belong in the same sentence. But here it is. It all comes down to relationships. Turns out, the strongest, most resilient supply chains are built on the very same things as any strong personal bond. We're talking trust, we're talking commitment, and that's really the heart of what we're exploring today. How that human connection is absolutely vital, even as our world gets more and more automated. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the big promise of Industry 4.0. You know the pitch. We've been hearing for years that technology is going to create this perfect world of efficiency, where every single decision is optimized and every process just works flawlessly. And listen, this isn't just some sci-fi dream. It's happening right now. All across major hubs like the US Gulf Coast, companies are pouring money into AI, into robotics, and even into these incredible digital twins, basically virtual copies of their entire operation. The change is here, and man, is it moving fast. And the power of this tech is just undeniable. I mean, you can detect risks in real time with live data. You can automate all those routine decisions that used to take up so much time. You can fine-tune your inventory, your transportation, your capacity, all while boosting safety and compliance. On paper, it looks like a perfect system. But here's the thing. Anyone who's actually worked in this field knows that supply chains don't run on paper. They run in the messy, unpredictable real world. And that's exactly where this purely technological promise starts to bump up against its limits. This slide really gets to the core of it all. Look, technology is fantastic. It gives us insight, it gives us data, it gives us incredible speed. But it's people who provide the interpretation of that data. It's people who have to prioritize what's important. And ultimately, it's people who take action. You see, it's a partnership, not a replacement. Let's circle back to the Gulf Coast for a second. It's one of the most complex, most disruption-prone industrial regions on the planet. It operates in a state of constant change, a kind of organized chaos that very few algorithms can ever hope to fully predict. And we're not talking about some abstract risks here. These are real, visceral threats. We're talking about hurricanes that can literally wipe out infrastructure overnight. We're talking about sudden port congestion that brings the flow of goods to a dead stop, unexpected refinery outages, global trade spats. These are the chaotic, real-world variables that automated systems just really struggle with. So here's the most important point. When one of those big disruptions hits, what actually gets things moving again? It's not an algorithm running a simulation. It's people calling on trusted supplier relationships. It's teams coordinating and communicating clearly to make fast decisions. Getting back on your feet, that is a fundamentally human process. And this idea of human connection, it is absolutely crucial when we talk about one of the most important relationships you have, the one with your suppliers. You know, the most resilient companies out there have made a really important mental shift. They've stopped seeing their suppliers as just another transactional input, another number on a spreadsheet. Instead, they see them as strategic assets, as true partners who can give them a real, long-term competitive edge. And the payoff for investing in that kind of partnership, it's huge. A supplier who actually trusts you is going to give you a heads up when they see trouble coming. They'll work with you to create backup plans. And maybe most important of all, when things get tight and everybody is fighting for limited capacity, they're going to put you at the front of the line. You just can't program that kind of loyalty into a dashboard. Now, this exact same logic applies inside your own company, too. It's not just about your external partners. In fact, it's kind of a paradox. But sometimes these amazing new digital tools can actually make internal silos worse if your teams aren't talking to each other. Just take a look here. Your IT team can build the most brilliant tool in the world, but if they don't really collaborate with the business users, the people on the ground, it's never going to get adopted properly. Or your finance team might set a budget that looks great on paper, but actually creates a ton of friction for the supply chain.
The bottom line is, technology needs human alignment to actually create any value. And all this leads to what might be the single most important question any leader has to ask, over and over again. The system spits out an answer. It gives a recommendation. But does it actually make sense in the real world? Answering that question takes experience, it takes context, and it takes conversations. All things that an algorithm, by its very nature, just doesn't have. So where are we heading with all this? Well, it's not to a future where we have to choose between technology and people. No way. The real future is about combining the incredible power of our digital tools with the irreplaceable judgment that comes from human relationships. And this right here is the key takeaway. The winning strategy isn't technology versus people, it's technology and people. The organizations that are going to come out on top tomorrow are the ones who don't just buy new systems, but who also intentionally invest in and develop the human relationships, both inside and outside the company, that make those systems actually work.
You know, when you look at all the lessons learned the hard way by the folks in the Gulf Coast supply chain, one idea just shines through. Even with all the automation, all the AI you can throw at a problem, people are not some legacy feature you're trying to phase out. They are, and they remain, your greatest strength.
So that leaves us with one final and I think really critical question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own organization. Is it just investing in technology? Or is it truly investing in the people who are needed to make sense of it, to act on it, and to build the relationships that will save the day when that technology finally hits its limits? The answer to that question is going to define your future.